Jake Clever, a leading expert and analyst who has worked with a variety of financial organizations, including some of the greatest banks such as Vagro, JP Morgan, WS Fargo, and a great number of others, has affirmed that the price of XRP would reach $2,500 by the end of the year 2025. Currently, this is of the utmost significance since the price of XRP has reached $2,500 and more than $4,000 worth of financial institutions have declared their intention to adopt XRP by the year 2025 or by the end of 2025, which is just a few months away. In addition, we are discussing huge and gigantic financial organizations like as JP Morgan, which has officially accepted XRP for payments on credit cards and mortgages, as well as banks located all throughout Japan. More than 80% of them have all reached a consensus to form a coalition in order to include XRP's technology into their payment processes. And this has already been accepted, and it was just published 17 hours ago after it was approved. This is not all, however, because Ripple has formed a partnership with the Global Bank of Standard Charter Partnerships to enable the usage of XRP for payment purposes. Through a partnership with Ripple, Standard Charter Bank is able to conduct transactions using XP. Once again, here is just another example of one of these enormous global financial organizations that can be discovered in nearly every country on the planet. They have made the decision to use XRP for payments, and when we talk about globalizing the XRP ledger and XRP, what we are really talking about is the CBDC integration of central banks onto the XRP ledger. These CBDC integrations have also been confirmed with over 30 financial institutions in total, out of which 5 have been approved, 5 are in discussions, and another 20 are currently in progress. Of course, Russia, the United Arab Emirates, and Japan are among the 8 countries that are building CBDCs on the XRP ledger. The Republic of Palau, Russia, Montenegro, Uruguay, Hong Kong, Japan, New Zealand, and the United Arab Emirates are among the countries that are included in this list. However, the truth of the issue is that you just need a few of XRP to build generational riches and become a multi-millionaire. Up till maybe 1 to between 10 XRP is literally all you need to establish generational wealth for yourself and your children. It has been reported that merely 10 XRP will be equivalent to around $10 million. This is due to the fact that the price of XRP will start in the thousands, then tens of thousands, then hundreds of thousands, and finally millions of dollars. We decided to form a partnership with Apple in order to provide much more than 10 XRP to each and every individual who is viewing this video. In point of fact, you may purchase up to 100 XRP or $100 worth of XRP by just following 3 easy steps, each of which takes less than 5 minutes to complete. Additionally, you are required to share this video, like the video, subscribe to the channel parameters, and then sign up for a hold by utilizing the link that I provide in the description. Finally, you must complete a transaction. This transaction might be for 1 penny, $1, or $10. Nevertheless, the idea behind this is that you can acquire yourself completely free money, up to $100 worth of free XRP, simply by signing up and paying 1 cent. You can do all of this in fewer than 5 minutes, and as a result of the time you spend on it, you will be able to produce money that will be passed down from generation to generation for both you and your children. And regardless of whether XRP reaches $1 million per XRP in a year, 2 years, or 5 years, the idea here is that you got in at those unbelievable low prices right now. You have invested 5 minutes of your time, you have purchased your XRP, and now even if it is left idle for 5 years and then you log back into your account, you are going to have wealth that will last generations, potentially hundreds of millions of dollars. But we are talking about a baseline with 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, or 10 million XRP, which is equal to $10 million. Now let's get into the video, shall we? To reiterate, it is imperative that you complete a transaction and join up for Uphold by utilizing the link that I have provided in the description. Obtain your free XRP at this moment. You must utilize my link in the description, sign up and complete a purchase in order to take advantage of this offer, which is only available for a very limited time. Let us immediately begin watching the video. Since the beginning of time, the price of XRP, or at least the actual price of XRP, has been a rather peculiar figure. In other words, many anticipate that it will go from a few cents to hundreds of dollars to thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and even millions of dollars. To what extent does the actual price line exist? Also, in my opinion, it is according to the time period. I mean, there will come a period in the next probably 3 or 4 months where X should be afraid rocks above $2,500, as verified by this professional analyst Jake Clever, who states that the price of XRP will be over $2,500 by the end of 2025. I mean, this is something that will happen. XRP's price was planned to be $10,000, and it will continue to be $10,000 as it continues to continuously grow around the world, as Ripple's co-founder and the XRP founder anticipated. I also think that as XRP gets more and more scalable, which is occurring right now with over 4,000 financial institutions, the price of XRP will continue to remain $10,000 as a result of the fact that financial institutions in Japan are currently constructing on the X letter. We are witnessing this phenomenon. Multiple nations are responsible for the construction of CBDC on the XRP ledger, a number of different collaborations with a variety of nations, whether they are located in the Middle East, Asia, or Africa. As a matter of fact, the expansion of XRP is continually expanding. This one is very, very special because Bard AI confirms, and not just Bard but also Chet, and all the other AI platforms confirmed that Forbes, yes, Forbes actually predicted the price of XRP and published an article titled "The New Bitcoin is XRP," and it set it to $59,472, but it was taken down just minutes after it was published. Now for $60,000 for each XRP, which is exactly $59,472, this one is very, very special. According to this particular confirmation, the actual price of XRP is significantly greater than the price of Bitcoin. This is due to the fact that the next Bitcoin will be XRP. As a result, XRP will supersede Bitcoin. And when we take a look at the price of Bitcoin, we see that it is currently above 107,000, and it was maybe 120,000 a couple of months ago. The fact of the matter is, however, that the price of XRP will be set at those amounts, and if Forbes makes a prediction about it, then it is quite likely that it will come to pass because Forbes is the most trustworthy and widely recognized source of financial news. Currently, there are analysts who are projecting that the price of XRP will reach as high as $1 million per XRP. They are also stating that in the future, 10 XRP will be equivalent to $10 million. But why is that? How come this is taking place? In addition, we are going to listen to the video clip in which Jake is literally explaining his logic to you, as well as the 650 trillion that will be added to the XRP ledger in only a few weeks. By this year, what exactly do you mean? The value of it will be $2,500 this year. Perhaps by the time the year comes to a close, like guaranteed in your mind, like if it ain't done by 2 years, where it doesn't. So the reverse carry trade, like these things that I've mentioned, these are catalysts that have to transpire. Like those things, are they coming? They are. They are on the doorstep. Are they inevitable? They're inevitable. So when that happens, XRP, I start to see it rise. My account's going down. Should I liquidate? Will it come back down once it's all stabilized, or will it remain that high and higher? It'll remain that high and higher. And the reason for that is there'll be enough liquidity in it, like we talked about before, for these counterparties that settle transactions to do that all day long but use XRP. Each day Swift is able to settle $5 trillion. On the other hand, if that volume goes into the network when XRP is $100, it will remain there. Now that we have more demand, it is going to rise to another price and stay there because it has sustained demand and volume from the settlement of those networks and those markets. If they start settling the back end of the stock market, which is between $5 and $6 trillion per day, then we will have more demand. You are aware of it. The fact of the matter is, however, that a substantial sum of money is due to arrive in a few weeks through really, which will result in the tokenization and unlocking of a total of $654.39 trillion into the XRP ledger by the utilization of their native token, the real token, which is likewise constructed on the XRP fragment. For this reason, we are on the verge of seeing one of the greatest burns, which is the burning of XRP through gas fees. This is due to the fact that a vast volume of transactions are taking place. At the same time, we are going to witness a significant increase in the demand for XRP. This is due to the fact that individuals are going to purchase XRP in order to convert it into the actual token, which is constructed on the XRP ledger. The fact that this is the case makes the situation 10 times more bullish. In other words, Real 5 made an official announcement that they had successfully accomplished a 20% supply phase 1 burn of the real token. The amount of real tokens that were burnt was around 14.9 million, if we take a look at this. This is a really positive development since we are discussing the reduction of the supply of the real token. In this context, however, we are discussing the reality that the actual unlocking of 650 trillion is already underway. This amounts to around $11,585 or something of the type per XRP, taking into account the 650 trillion that is being added to the XRP ledger and into